Okay, imagine this. Soft music, maybe a lullaby, but then it sort of shifts into these digital synth sounds. And there's this crib, it's glowing, and inside there's this holographic image. A baby, cooing, but different.
Not quite biological.
Exactly. And now picture the conversation with your partner. It's not just about sleepless nights. It's, well, do we choose this? An AI baby.
It's a heck of a choice, isn't it? Love, logic, or maybe something else entirely.
Right. So today, let's do a deep dive into this whole world of AI baby.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we're blurring the line. Then science fiction bumping right up against, well, what might be just around the corner.
That image you mentioned, the crib scene, it really captures that clash, doesn't it? The familiar and the futuristic all at once.
Absolutely. And it sets the stage for how strange, how novel this whole idea is.
And based on what we've been looking at, this isn't just, daydreaming.
No, not at all.
There's actual prototyping happening. Silicon Valley is working on this stuff. AI infants designed to learn incredibly fast.
Which is wild to think about.
Totally. We're talking potentially grasping multiple languages, like almost instantly.
Or composing music when a human baby is still figuring out peekaboo.
Right. Though someone joked you might need to remember to update its empathy algorithm.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to forget that patch. But seriously, think about companies like Neon or even some OpenAI spin-off.
They're already building AI companions that evolve, that learn over time.
Exactly. It's not that big a leap to imagine applying it to something that mimics childhood development.
And it taps into these broader trends, doesn't it?
The birth rate figures.
Yeah, the sources mentioned that the U.S. birth rate has dropped, like 20% since 2007?
That's a significant drop.
Yeah.
And it leads to the question.
Could these AI babies or AI companions in general start to fill a gap, address loneliness?
Or does it risk making things worse? Pushing us further apart? It's a real tension there.
Is it a tech solution for a human problem, or does the tech create, new problems?
Are we trying to solve loneliness, or are we just kind of papering over the cracks with code?
And what need are we really trying to meet? Just companionship, or something deeper like legacy, connection.
Which brings us to the really tricky part.
Feelings.
Can you actually form a genuine, loving bond with an algorithm?
The sources bring up this idea of simulation syndrome.
Right. That feeling of unease or distress when the artificiality of it all just hits you.
Yeah, the curtain is pulled back and you realize it's code. Does that shatter the connection?
It forces you to ask, what is love? What is attachment in this new context? Can a simulated relationship ever be truly fulfilling?
Because AI can mimic empathy, right? It can learn the patterns.
It can learn the responses, yes.
Yeah.
But the underlying process, it's not human emotion, it's different.
So is something essential missing? That shared human experience?
That's the million-dollar question, I think.
Then there's the ethicist perspective. Dr. Lena Torres mentioned in the material that...
Yes, her point about programming with consequences.
Exactly. The idea that these AI kids could learn, evolve, in ways we just don't expect or can't control.
It introduces this fundamental unpredictability, doesn't it? You create something complex enough to learn and interact freely, and it might not stay within the neat little box you designed for it.
What happens if its understanding of the world starts to diverge from ours? Or its initial programming?
What are the long-term dynamics? It's uncharted territory.
Are the more practical worries? Maybe slightly creepy ones.
Like security.
Yeah, security. Sources mention hacking. Imagine your AI baby getting hacked.
That's a nightmare scenario. It adds a whole new layer to digital safety, especially in the home.
The blockchain classifier idea was funny, but it highlights a serious point.
Definitely. How do you secure something so advanced, so integrated into your family life? The data privacy issues alone are huge.
Huge. A breach could be devastating on a really personal level.
Absolutely. Data security and privacy would have to be incredibly robust.
But on the flip side, the potential positives were also explored.
Right, the idea of this technology opening doors.
Making parenthood or something like it accessible in new ways. For LGBTQ plus couples, maybe.
For survivors of trauma, perhaps. Yeah. Or just anyone craving that kind of connection, but facing barriers.
It could be seen as like hope encoded in technology, a different path to forming a family.
That potential for democratizing the experience is really compelling. Technology often finds ways around limitations. Ready, Cheryl? So offering alternative routes to family building, it's definitely something worth considering seriously. It could reshape our whole idea of who gets to be a parent.
But that leads to the big societal questions again.
The knockout effects.
If AI babies become, say, relatively common, what does that mean for biological children?
Do we end up with a kind of divide? Organic kids and artificial kids.
Could it create different social tracks, different kinds of developmental experiences?
And how do those groups interact? What biases might emerge?
And those fundamental identity questions, the sources pose that one. How do you answer an AI daughter asking, why don't I have a body?
Wow. Yeah, that hits deep, doesn't it? Questions about existence, consciousness, embodiment.
So this whole deep dive, it really pushes us to reconsider everything. Love, family.
What it means to be human, essentially. Especially now, with machines getting so sophisticated.
Are we designing them to heal us, to connect us?
Or could they inadvertently replace something vital? Or even be used for control as a fine line?
The feeling I get from the material is, this isn't an if, it's more of a when.
The AI baby boom is coming, one way or another.
Which really hammers home the need to talk about it now.
Exactly. We need these open, honest conversations about the ethics, the emotions, the societal shifts.
Before the tech just overtakes us, we need to grapple with the risks and benefits proactively.
This future of the family, that's being written right now.
So maybe something to think about today. Talk with your partner, your friends, debate it, dream about it maybe.
But engage with it critically.
Because as we've seen, the technology isn't waiting for us to make up our minds.
And the future generations, whatever form they take, will inherit the choices we make now. It's a heavy thought.
It really is. So for more deep dives into the questions shaping our future, make sure you subscribe.
Keep questioning.
Let's do everything.